results you've wanted so far this week, but you guys have rarely lost 3 games, or you rarely lost 2 games in a row. I don't even know if you've lost 3 games in a row under your time here. I mean, what response are you expecting from the group tomorrow?
Well, obviously, like you said, disappointed in the results the last 2 games. We felt like we were on a good run. We had 7 points in the 3 games prior to the 2, and in both games we were in position in the second half to take points, and we didn't get the results. But we can't look back too long. This is one of those windows where you just have to look ahead. Obviously, when you do look back, there's some positives. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to, to think everything, was poor in those games. It wasn't. Dallas first half was great. Vancouver for periods was good. But the most important thing we need to think about, irrespective of the last 2 games, is we need 3 points on Sunday. That's it. It's very simple. We want to play well, but we need 3 points. Regardless of how we play, we need to get 3 points in this game.
With the way you guys possessed the ball in the first half in Dallas, that sounded like the game plan you had talked to us about in advance. Do you feel like, even though the second half didn't work out, that was a little bit of a step forward you can build on?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought that first half was excellent, especially on the road, playing a really good team. I thought we bossed the game, and we had the ball, and we scored a goal, obviously. We defended well. We pressed from the front. A lot of positives, and we were in great position. It's been a difficult 11 games. There have been factors to it being difficult and us not having the points. I don't like to sit here and make those excuses, but the amount of injuries we've had have played into it. I think we've had some bad luck too. When you look at the goals we've conceded, you look at the Vancouver first goal and you look at Dallas first goal, they're both, like pinball deflection goals that you can't believe they even, end up falling for the opponent like that. And earlier in the year, you look at some of the wonder goals, and then you look at the 2 own goals we've given up. So we're not getting our fair share of breaks, but I am confident, because I've seen this game go in circles, that it's going to turn in our favor. I'm also confident that we're going to eventually get healthy. I'm also confident that we're going to eventually, develop more cohesiveness. But we haven't been able to do that in the first 11. I feel like we've had a season's worth of injuries and luck, all in the first third of the season. So hopefully we got that out of our systems, and we can start to now get things turning in our favor. But we also have 2 more injuries to manage tomorrow. So, Darren Maddox is out. He had surgery yesterday. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, meniscus, and Diego Chara will be out tomorrow as well. He's got a foot injury. So another opportunity for guys to step up, but doesn't mean unfortunately doesn't mean we can continue to build with the same lineup and same system.
What happened, or you said Chara with a foot injury? How long is that?
Yeah, both of them took him in the game. Obviously they grinded through Chara, but at the end you could see he was limping. Just took a knock on his foot. Actually in his toe. So it's not a turf toe, but similar. In that he's got a lot of irritation where it's difficult for him to put pressure on the toe and even bend it. We are confident that he'll be back soon. We injected him today to get it calmed down, the inflammation, but he won't be able to go tomorrow. So we're hopeful next week, but it'll be game to game. With Darren, he just landed on it wrong and tore his meniscus, so we had to do surgery yesterday. He's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Obviously, these injuries are a really unique factor this year. It's hard to draw too many conclusions with it based on last year's, but it is the 3rd season in a row where you, after a third of the way basically through, you're in not the spot you want to be. Is that a concern, especially since the injuries seem to keep building?
You just got to move forward. I as the leader of this club, I have to, put out a group to win the next game. I think that's the mindset right now. So as much as these are factors and realities, which, should be discussed and lumped in with the reasons why we're where we're at, because it is a reality. As much as I think it's important to talk about that and for people to understand, my job is to win the next game. And so I'm going to put out a team to win the next game, and I'm confident we can do that no matter what we're dealing with. So I'm not worried about being concerned. I'm not worried about anything other than trying to win, the next game. And like you said, we have started slow, but the nice thing is we've always ended well in all 3 of those seasons. So we've got some, evidence that we can turn things around quickly. But, the only way you do that is to win the next game. We can't control anything else. The past, we can't control Vancouver. We can control, the next game and getting 3 points. And if we do that, then you feel a little better. We look a little better in the table. Fans feel better. And then if we win the next one, now they really feel better, and so do we. And so things can turn quickly in this league if you get a couple results. I'm not going to sit here ever and make excuses, and I'm not going to sit here ever and dwell on how bad things are. All I'm going to focus on is trying to win the next game and getting the job done and doing everything I can as a coach to ensure that we're in the playoffs and that we make a run to win MLS Cup.
In terms of getting some results moving forward, the defense has given up 20 goals in these 11 games, and there's been moments when it's looked better, but then they've conceded in second half goals in the last 2 games. I mean, what do you see a way to be able to fix that, get the first clean sheet?
Yeah, well, I think, again, it's, obviously the stats are the stats. We can't hide from them. Those are realities. It's, like looking in the mirror, it's like looking at the table. The reality is where we're at. We get that. But again, I think there are factors to that, and factors are we've had a lot of guys injured, and factors are we've had some bad luck, plain and simple. So, but the reality is, we haven't been good enough. So hopefully, again, this next game, we can make a step in the right direction, and this will be another opportunity to go into the game and defend well and to put up our first clean sheet, and then hopefully we can build on that. And again, I'll always look at things that I can do to change the lineup because there needs to be accountability as well. There comes a point too where guys aren't getting the job done and you need to make changes. If I feel like I don't need to make changes and that it just is going to take time, then I can go that direction. But again, that's my job and I get my job, and ultimately my job is to put the team out there to win, and we've not been doing that in the last 2 games. But I think if you look at those games, if you're fair, I wouldn't think it's broken. 2-1 losses to Vancouver and Dallas, who are very good teams on the road, and we were in position to win those games, dealing with injuries and dealing with some bad luck. So it's not broken. People might think it is. I don't think it is. I'll tell you if I think it is. I think we're going to have a good game tomorrow, and I think we're going to get our first clean sheet, and I think we're going to win the game.
And I saw Taylor Pay working on the sideline. Does he have an injury?
Yeah. So, in fact, we've had 11 injuries. So, everybody's good at finding stats. You might want to find that stat. So we've had 11 injuries in 11 games, and 9 of the 11 injuries have been to starting players. So, that is a factor. Taylor's out. Hopefully he's back in this week, but he's been out for several weeks. And, Adam, needs another 5 weeks, so he's going to be back early July. Maddox mid-June. Alvis mid-June. For everybody that wants to know, where these starters are.
What was Taylor Pay's injury?
Taylor had, like a little sprained knee. So, and the strange thing about the injuries is only one of them is a soft tissue injury. So they're all contact injuries, which makes it even more strange, because contact injuries are fluke injuries where a guy falls wrong or gets knocked wrong, or whereas soft tissue, I'd almost rather it be a soft tissue because then I know it's training and I can scale it back and correct it. But contact injuries are all just, again, bad luck.
Is it for you as a coach? I mean, you've talked about no excuses, moving past it, but it has to be almost aggravating. I mean, the amount. Because I've been a coach a long time, I don't get as irritated about it because I can't do anything about it. And as a young coach, it really bothered me because, these, I call them lightning bolts, they just happen, and you're like, why is this happening? But I've learned that you just have to move on.
immediately. And so I move on really immediately. I start to think, okay, now what? Immediately, because I move quickly into, okay, how do I now put the next guy in, and how do I now correct the fact that we've got some of our top guys out? And for me, that's what I stay focused on. I'm always aware of the reality, because it's really important to, because I could right now just think, listen, we're on the points we're on, and we're not a good team, and I'm not a good coach, and all that stuff can come into your heads, and I think that's where the short-sightedness of the outside of what people think sometimes, and I get that, because they don't know the depth of what I know. My job's to look at why, and to figure out why, and then correct it. And with my experience in dealing with these things, I'll be honest, I've never dealt with this many in this amount of games. But I'm still really confident that we're going to keep winning. I'm confident at home, especially because our home form's been good, and the signs on the road have been very good. That we're going to start getting points, and slowly but surely people will start to believe again, and have faith in us again. But we have to earn that. We haven't earned that with the last 2 results.
The last thing I just wanted to ask was you guys waived Michael Seaton yesterday. Can you talk about that decision, and also, is because you're opening up that roster spot, is there any plans to add someone there?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see in the summer, right? I mean, so that's a part of, do we need to make some changes? Do we need to, bring some guys in? I mean, that's always, something you have to think about when you're not getting results. I do believe in the guys that we have here, especially when we're healthy completely. I believe in our depth, but we're always going to look at how can we be better, especially when we're not where we need to be. So we're having those discussions right now. With Seaton, we just didn't see a future in him here. So for me, I don't like to waste time with players that I don't see a future with, and it's good for him as a young player to get another opportunity, versus spinning his wheels. And short term, we will make a move to add a piece that we feel like we need some depth. But in the summer transfer, based on where we're at that point in time and what we see, we might look to bring in a couple guys.